City special in the booth. I'm Ed Cohen with the former Chicago Bull. It's Jay Williams.
And Ed, both squads are getting up last-minute shots. As a player, you never leave the court on a missed shot. A mixed shot always sets the right tone before the game.
All the work that's gone into this game about to be on full display here tonight. And it's Zubats with the rebound. To Paul George. Fires the three. It was contested, but Paul George still dials in for three. Jay, when you break down Paul George, where is he at his best?
He needs to be engaged. He needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be needed. And that's the biggest thing for Paul George. When he's the guy offensively and he makes those clutch shots, it re-engages him defensively. And that drives him to be the best version of Paul George there is.
Using the post to his advantage there and the finish at the rim.
Old school equals high percentage.
Paul George. The monster stuff.
And no emotion, just that ice-cold stare. That's a sign of somebody who's here to compete.
Brooklyn with the basketball to Irving. Now preparing to shoot at the line.
Hey, look, sometimes you need to feel out your opponent. Let them know you're there. I'm okay with that early foul.
Kevin Durant. He's got 2 shots coming. Career 88% from the line. First one, counted. And he makes them both. Kawhi Leonard, tough matchup against Durant. George, Paul George, 2 for 2. That's what you want.
Ooh, that confidence level is so superior. Whenever you start jogging back on defense before the ball even goes through the net, that speaks for itself.
Split the D there, but he can't get it to drop. Beverly into the front court. Leads 4. Jared Allen sends it away.
That's why a rim protector is a necessity in this game.
The pass taken away by the Clippers.
Now push it. Let's attack in transition so we can build this lead.
Nets have it. Irving to Jordan. Working it outside. Kevin Durant lets it fly. Oh, great pass. Setting up the basket.
He's a modern-day big that plays like a 6'2 guard. Scary.
Leonard to George. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Had made his first couple, but he misses there. Into the front court, it's Irving. Down just a couple. To Durant. From long range. And Kevin Durant, all in one motion, hits it off the catch and shoot.
You can forget about it when he uses that 7'5 wingspan to attack the bucket.
Leonard. DeAndre Jordan able to recover with the block.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
Leonard. His first effort off the mark. Dinwiddie with the basketball. Leads 1. Shot won't go. The follow won't go either. Nothing going here on that drive. To Paul George. For 3, well, this could be a sign of things to come. He's 3 of 4 from downtown to start the game.
And a dangerous thing for the defensive team, he has fresh legs. That was great lift on that jump shot.
Irving to Dinwiddie. Lets it fly from long range. Spencer Dinwiddie, no problem. Contested, hits the 3.
Look, that shot was going up regardless of what the defender was trying to do. That's called a heat check.
Timeout called here by the Clippers as they'll talk things over in a 1-point basketball game. Some lineup changes now for both clubs. George, and a bad pass as it's taken away by the Nets. 4-3. And the Clippers have the rebound. George, the hot shooting continues. He's got 12 in the first quarter, including that trifecta.
And Ed, did you see how quick his release was? There was no wasted motion from the waist up.
Fires the three. It's good for 3.
And in today's game, you have to make shots like that. Nice work draining it from deep.
LA Clippers with the basketball. Ah, missed it. How'd that not go down? Durant across the timeline. Less than a minute to go in a tightly played first quarter. Kevin Durant, 3 for 3. That's a perfect start.
They're going to have to find answers defensively and quickly because he's carving them up in the first quarter.
George, message received. Well defended.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
And a whistle.
Welcome to new age basketball. You blow on me, that's a foul.
That's the first foul in the last 2 minutes. Into the game. Number 4.
Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
That was such a great job by the offensive player. Knowing that you're probably going to take some lumps here and there, but still remaining aggressive throughout the shot and getting a crack at the extra point.
Oh, he can't connect. Oh, the whistle. Jay, take your hands off of me.
His timing was a tad bit off.
That's the first foul in the last 2 minutes.
Leonard. That's how you defend.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
Deep 3 at the buzzer, and a three-pointer at the buzzer for good measure. What a finish to the opening period. A great stretch here to start the game. We played one with the visiting Nets out on top. Jay and I back with more after this. You're watching the NBA on EA Sports.
Points and wins tonight. Everyone
To George.
beats up.
Leonard to Beverly. Nothing going here on that drive. Leonard goes to the left side. George lets it fly. And the rebound comes down to Harris. Irving with the basketball. His team on top by 8. Kawhi Leonard against KD. Paul George to Leonard. Here's a chance from long range. So the first points for him in this first half, and he knocks it down for 3.
Yeah, they really need him to get going. Really surprised that none of his teammates have been talking to him. This is when he needs him the most. They have to uplift him, help him continue to be confident on the court.
Irving. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
Man, that may not have been a gimme, but that layup at the rim definitely chips away at the pride of the defense.
Williams to Paul George. Beyond the arc for 3. Can't get the bounce. Durant with the basketball up top. His team up by 7. Kevin Durant. Can't ask for much more. He's perfect. 5 for 5 from the field.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
Leonard to George. Leonard. That no good off the mark. Nice follow-up on the dunk there. Gotta love the rim rockers.
Gotta be careful, though. Don't hang on the rim too long. You might get a tee.
Kyrie with the rock. Probing the defense. Irving to Durant. Shot from the lane won't go.
It's because he took his eye off his target, Ed. As an offensive player, you have to glare at where the defender's coming to, but quickly redirect yourself to your actual target. He was more consumed with the defender than he was the actual rim.
To Williams. George. Terrific vision. Jared Allen snatching it out of the air. That's out. Last touch by Jared Allen. Both coaches dipping into their reserves. Changes coming onto the floor.
Subbing in for the Brooklyn Nets, number 6, Jordan.
Leonard can't go down. Smothering defense.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
It's a big finish.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
Brooklyn's got it. Irving to Durant. Paul George rejects it.
Just erasing mistakes left and right.
Paul George to Leonard. Going to launch beyond the arc. No good. To Irving. Brooklyn with 4 to shoot. Knocked loose. Clippers have got it. Kawhi Leonard against KD. George. Fires the 3. Paul George can't get that one to go. Defense all over him.
Shooters shoot. Period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's why you're on the floor. You keep doing what you're doing with that superior confidence.
Durant. It's no good. Shots not going down. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Off the iron. No good. Leonard. And the rebound taken in by Jordan. To Durant. A lot of contact on that play. He plays through it and scores.
Just wait a second, Ed. Wait 1 second. Can we go back to the play before this great play that we just saw? Just because you have a bad offensive possession, you can't allow that to go down and reciprocate itself on the defensive end. One bad play does not make...
Throws it down off the alley-oop pass. Jay, that's a strong connection.
And it's always about the play before the play. Look how the eyesight was able to connect between 2 players. We call that an eyesight contract. Because when you have a contract that's signed, sealed, and then delivered like that, that's how great plays are made.
George, now that's a contest. First half comes to an end with the Nets in front. All set to go here in the second half. The third quarter is underway. Leonard buries it.
Even though the coach initially may not like that shot, now he's clapping because that ball went in.
To Dinwiddie. A lot of contact, no whistle.
Cultures have communication. Great cultures have teammates that are willing to push you to limits that maybe you didn't even see that you had. But right now, there's no leader on this team. Everybody's just going their separate ways.
The ball in the hands of Kyrie Irving. To Jordan. Free throws coming up.
The game is too tight for you to be taking risks like that. You want to avoid foul trouble at all costs.
DeAndre Jordan at the line. And hits the first free throw. able to convert on both free throws.
Coming right back to you.
So Leonard. Deep right corner. Beverly. Not going down here. To Irving. Gets it in the right corner. Durant. Rebounds taken down by Leonard. Leonard. Great feed. Nice pace. Sets it up and slams it down. Jay, let's see if that's a sign for him.
Well, he's been pretty much non-existent the first 3 quarters, but when you have a play like that, that can get the juices going, and that can help you with your offensive rhythm.
The feed stolen away.
Here's your chance to break this thing wide open.
Durant. Misfire. A scary sight. DeAndre Jordan with the putback slam.
That's the DJ we all know and love. Okay, I know you were knocking down everything in the first half, but that's not the case so far in the second. Maybe it's time to start executing your offense.
From long range, buries it on the catch and shoot.
And I just hear my high school coach preaching this thing to me every single day, and it's still pertinent for the NBA. It's all about spacing. And when you have guys who are lethal three-point shooters and they understand spacing, oh, that whole floor opens up, and that's a thing of beauty to watch.
Jordan to Irving. Paul George with a piece.
Just incredible timing on that swat.
For 3, drills the 3.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
Around the perimeter to Dinwiddie. And scores at the basket. Jay, tough recovery that time.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
To Paul George. Strong finish for Paul George.
And last year, it seemed like PG really had a difficult time finding that next level elite PG. No doubt about it, this year, he needs to be playoff P all day, every day.
Time to adjust. Both coaches making changes on the floor.
Number 23.
Kevin Durant has it.
Subbing in for the Brooklyn Nets. Number 31, Jared Allen.
Clippers have it. Kawhi Leonard against KD. Deep left corner. Patrick Beverly. It's been a quiet night. Only 3 attempts, but he makes that one stick.
I hear so many players talk about, oh, my skill set is this or my skill set is that. How about your skill set is your effort on the defensive end? That's something we don't talk about as much as we need to.
Screen coming. Irving to Dinwiddie. Offensive rebound and a putback slam.
It just seems like nobody can stop him but him. Once he's found his offensive swag, that boy's deadly.
Oh, yeah, it's me and you, me and you.
Leonard to George. Leonard to Paul George. DeAndre Jordan tips it.
Ed, that's light work for a guy with his ability.
There's the toss. Flushes down the slam. Jay, no question. There's an unspoken bond there.
Just on the same wavelength. And how about this? Sometimes a bad pass is a great pass when you have somebody as athletic as that can catch that anywhere and slam it down.
To Irving. Clippers have got it. Beverly gets it to go. Coach cannot be happy with that closeout. Late heave to beat the buzzer. That'll do it for the period. The Nets have the lead. Brooklyn basketball here as we start the fourth quarter. They have clearly been the better side so far. Jay, that's reflected on the scoreboard.
Well, the cardinal rule in the game of sport is whenever you go into the fourth quarter, it's 0-0. You have to play the game with the scoreboard saying 0-0. And if you can win that game by double digits, then you've done your job in the fourth.
Not that time. Leonard to George. Lets it fly from long range. He's been dialed in from long distance. That's now 5 threes for the game.
Nothing more painful than the next day watching tape, seeing the fact that he got 15 points off three-point shots.
Curling inside. Doesn't get the bounce. To Paul George. Oh, ferocious slam inside.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
George, he's not shy about shooting it from out there, but he misses this time. Now ready to shoot at the line.
No, no, no. I'll tell you, the team that makes the little mistakes, like committing unnecessary reach-in fouls like that, will be the team that ends up with the L.
First free throw is good.
For Brooklyn, number 31, Jarrett Allen.
2 for 2 on that trip. Now the Clippers call a timeout as they'll talk things over here in this fourth quarter.
The best basketball. And I know I'm saying this, and I shouldn't be saying it because I'm calling the broadcast, but as a player and a fan, you know you tune in to the fourth. This is where guys earn their paychecks. This is where you see real fight and real hustle.
Substitutions,
Leonard. Tough shot. Well defended.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
Count the basket. A lot of contact. No foul.
And that is the sign of an unselfish team. When everybody in transition thinks they have a chance to get the ball because you have a willing passer, somebody willing to make other players on his team look great, that's only going to force your players to play that much harder on offense and give you more energy on the defensive end.
Dinwiddie into the front court. Up by 6. The Nets now with 4 to shoot. A drive baseline, but the shot won't go.
And you see so many players quit on the play after they were beat the first time, but not him. He stayed on his hip, he fought back, and he made the player miss the shot. That's great defense.
Dinwiddie with the basketball. Leads 4. 4-3. And he buries it.
Don't seem shocked. This is how the game is played these days. Shooting a 3 is like shooting a layup.
Leonard goes to the left side. Williams. That's off the side of the rim. Short. Beverly to George. Trying to cash in. A fundamental shot right there.
Man down. You got to get up and contest the shot.
It's Brooklyn's ball. To Jordan. Cashes in for two.
Ooh, shows like this separate the good players from the great ones. The good players, they have good first halves, and then they fade to black in the second. The great players, they just sustain that kind of dynamic energy throughout the entire ball game.
Kawhi Leonard is going to get a chance at three here. A career 84% free throw shooter. And he connects on the first free throw. Knocks down the second free throw. Whoops, that won't go. To Paul George. Fires the three. Well, the hot shooting night continues. That's his sixth three-pointer of this game.
And you got to give him a lot of love. He's been knocking down shot after shot. But what is the defense thinking? Do you want to play in this game? It's probably time you start buckling down.
Irving, bad pass there. Clippers have it.
From a guy who's been there before, tomorrow morning you'll wake up and you would have wished this was a bad dream. But in reality, all you can do is knock the cobwebs off and let it fuel you for tomorrow.
Leonard to Williams.
Green light.
Shot clock coming down to 4. Down to 3. Easy pass to the rim.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
To George. Leonard shakes free and hits.
Well, the defense has been good, but the shot-making ability has been better. And sometimes for NBA players at this level, the more you're in their face, the more it helps them center their focus on the target, which is making the shot. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, it's a real thing, man.
Can't connect. Leonard to Paul George. Oh, pass stolen by the Nets.
You go back to the principles, things that we started working on when we were in first and second grade. It's called the shell drill. You stay down in the stance defensively, you try to deny the next pass away, and you have to communicate. If your conditioning is bad, you have no chance. But if you're able to do all these things together, collectively, you will be able to stop a great passing team.
It's the Clippers who come away with the victory as they just squeak this one out by a point. That does it. For my partner, Jay Williams, and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. As we say, so long, everyone.